The sun baked the hills of southern Spain as Nasir climbed the rugged slopes, his faithful goats trailing behind in a rhythmic dance. The air was filled with the sweet, lonely melody of his flute, echoing through the dry grass and ancient stones. Suddenly, a sharp flash of light pierced through a dense flower bush, catching his eye. Curiosity piqued, Nasir knelt and pushed aside the fragrant branches. There, nestled in the dirt, lay a crystal ball shimmering with the vibrant colors of a hidden rainbow. As his trembling fingers lifted the cool glass, a faint, ethereal voice emanated from the sphere, whispering, "Make a wish, and I shall grant it." Nasir stood frozen, the weight of the world suddenly resting in the palm of his hand. Nasir stared deep into the swirling glass. He thought of soaring through the clouds like an eagle, or perhaps owning riches that would mean he never had to work again. Yet, every time he looked at the rolling hills and his simple, dusty life, he felt a strange hesitation. Was his life truly lacking? He couldn't decide. Tucking the ball deep into his bag, he returned home in silence, telling no one of his discovery. The next day, he sat under his favorite oak tree, holding the ball and debating a future he wasn't sure he wanted. He didn't notice the young village boy hiding in the shadows, watching with greedy eyes. As Nasir succumbed to a light nap, the boy struck, snatching the bag and sprinting toward the village square. In the heart of the village square, the boy held the crystal ball high above his head. A curious crowd gathered, their eyes reflecting the shimmering light. As they reached out to touch the glass, the voice repeated its tempting offer. Chaos erupted. "I want a bag of gold," one man shouted. "Give me chests of jewelry," another yelled. Others demanded grand palaces with golden doors and towering walls. Instantly, the world began to warp. The humble, warm cottages vanished, replaced by cold stone structures and mountains of heavy, lifeless gold. The lush gardens were buried under marble, and the ancient trees where children played were cleared away to make room for monuments of vanity. The village had become a kingdom of wealth, but the air felt thin and freezing. The transformation was complete, but the joy was absent. Neighbors who once shared bread now looked at each other with suspicion, jealous of the size of each other's hoards. The streets were silent, devoid of the laughter that once defined them. Children sat on the dusty, hard ground, weeping for the shade of the lost trees and the soft grass. When Nasir walked into the square, his flute tucked into his belt, he saw a wasteland of stone and gold. The villagers crowded around him, their faces etched with regret and misery. "Please, Nasir, bring back what we broke." Nasir held the crystal ball firmly, feeling its strange pulse one last time. He looked at the barren, silent square and the desperate eyes of his friends. Without a moment of greed, he spoke clearly into the glass. "I wish for our village to be exactly as it was." The air began to shimmer and vibrate. The golden palaces dissolved like morning mist, and the heavy stone walls crumbled into nothingness. In their place, the familiar wooden cottages reappeared, bathed in the warm light of the setting sun. Lush green trees sprouted from the earth, their branches reaching out to shade the cheering children. Nasir sat on his favorite rock as the day faded, playing his flute.